From Carolla One Studios in Glendale, California, this is the Adam Carolla Show. Adam's guest today, the writer and director of The Opening Act, Steve Byrne. With Gina on news and Bald Bryan on sound effects, and now, much more interested in Barrett Jackson than Coney Barrett, Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Light caseload, Lynch. Very nice. Got to get it on the Choice Big on Mandate. Get it on, and welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for sharing. Right, Gina Grad?
That's right.
Handball, Brian?
Quiet.
All right. Well, we look forward to Steve Byrne today. Lots of stuff to share, loaded up for the top of the show. Brian's got a new Ramblin song he's going to share with us.
It's one of those ones that's been hiding in plain sight my whole life. I've literally been listening to it since I was probably in the crib.
I will guess it. We won't do it this second, but I will guess the name of the song in under 3 seconds before you.
Once it starts playing, obviously.
Yeah, once it starts
it was a hit. You know the song.
Yeah, but I'm going under 3.
Ooh, all right.
That's what that's the rub. If I said the first 25 seconds, no problema. I'm going under 3. Wow. All right. And we found some more 1780s guy, which I'm in love with. And it was Gio. I think Gio found it. Now, again, the beauty of me is I write them and forget them most of the time. So when he said I got one on Steve O, I was like,
news to you.
And is A, news to me, and then B, I start thinking, what was my comedic angle on Steve O explaining to 1780s guy? I didn't know. I watched it, and it made me laugh. So here's now this is Adam explaining modern day life to 1780s guy Steve O.
And now, Adam explains to 1780s guy, Indian reservations.
And the Irish are free to roam wherever they please?
Well, that's good.
That was Adam explains Indian reservations.
Great take.
To 1780s
Wherever they please. Yeah.
That's so great because it had nothing to do with Indian reservations.
No.
It was perfect.
But it also shows, we have a past in this country, and it wasn't all about the black man and the Indians. All right. Well, we'll see if we can get Steve O going, but if we can't, we'll focus on Ramblin.
I'll have it in 20 seconds.
Okay. Well, if you have it in 20, and we're going to have a pest control guy call in because you can't outbook Mike August. We're going to have a Dewey pest control guy. We're going to have a pest control guy call in because I want to know what the F with ants. Mm-hmm. I was in my backyard today. I looked at this sort of planter box, and it's just ants going not even vertical, like horizontally. Just or not even horizontal. I mean, they're walking sideways on this wall in a long line. No cake, no ham, nothing from any of the cartoons. Nothing. They're just out. They're just doing their thing.
No comical wedge of cheese with little holes in it.
Found another bunch on a beach towel inside the house again. Like no food, no water, no nothing. All right, if we got it, Max Pad, we'll do it. If not, we'll go to the Ramblin' song.
And now, Adam explains to 1780s guy, Steve O.
A man who shoots fireworks from his rectum? I would like to meet this patriot.
No, you don't.
That was Adam explains Steve O to 1780s guy.
There's one more.
Oh, there's one more.
And now, Adam explains to 1780s guy, Steve O.
There's more Steve O.
Oh.
A man staples his scrotum to his inner thigh, and people find this amusing?
It's a good twist.
That was Adam explains Steve O to 1780s guy.
Yeah.
I'd like to meet this patriot.
This patriot. Yeah, 1780s guy had a lot of range in the topicality, I'd like to meet this patriot. Well, it's good because it kind of shows how everything needs a context, you know, like when you just hear little bits and pieces of information that you could see how he would perceive it that way.
Yeah.
Especially when you're plucked out of the late 1700s.
Yes, that's true. All right, we got Brian's got a rambling song. I'm gonna close my eyes and yell Pete if I know what it is.
Start the clock.
Pete. Lord. Oh no. Yeah. All right. No, don't play it. Heard it in a love song
That's
and
the
Marshall
one.
Tucker.
Well done.
Yeah.
Great flute.
Oh yeah.
You had that in 2 seconds.
All right. I still got it and get paid nothing for it.
We've been together so long now that both need resold. If I ever settle down, you'd be my kind, and it's a good time for me to hit on down the line.
If I were to settle down, you'd be the one.
Right.
But let's get something straight.
What? Great piano.
My dad, this is one of the top 10 artists my dad played most often in our household growing up. I'm sure I heard this as an infant in the womb.
Yeah, my dad was a Marshall Crenshaw guy, but I get it. Yeah, great guitar. I mean, everything's great. The flute's great.
He's the kind of man who likes to get away.
He likes to start dreaming about tomorrow, today. Yeah, you know, in Brandy,
He never said he loves you.
in Brandy, your fine girl, it was the same thing, which is if I was to settle down and be with someone, it would be
Trust
you,
me.
but I don't do that.
As though that's like a supreme compliment. Listen,
Right.
if I was to do this, you'd be the one. But
Right,
I don't need no woman tagging along.
right.
So I'll sneak out the door. Couldn't stand to see you cry. I'd stay another year if I saw a teardrop in your eye.
foreshadow.
The let's be honest about these rambling guys. Where
is
were
great,
they
Brian.
going that was so important? You know what I
Well,
mean?
he's already established that he's been there long enough for his shoes to need resoling.
All right,
Like-
so they're going to the cobbler? Like, look, these guys are mostly bearded alcoholics who just sort of drift from day gig to day gig, right? Where they
put
need... Oh, I got to be at the Hague. We've got to settle this is of international importance. There's war crimes. Where are they going? They're going to a bus stop and try to pick
Yep.
up a 19-year-old. They're going to hang out by a dumpster and drink some malt liquor from a bag. Like,
right.
they're going to get $40 for mowing some dude's lawn. Like, what exactly? Where's this rambling? What's so important? Who needs you there?
It's not about what you're running to. It's about what you're running from.
Well,
He was born a wrangler and a rambler.
This is a great road trip song.
I love that.
I like it when they explain their dad was a rambler too. So it's like,
Long
oh, so you
time
know,
a
you know
rambler.
firsthand the pain of a father
Right.
walking out on his family.
Sure.
No interest in breaking the cycle.
Right now, dad was a rambler. Well, what if dad sold aluminum siding? Would you feel compelled to sell aluminum siding?
I was born a tin man, and I guess I always will.
That is romantic.
You know, we really need the woman's side of the rambling song, which is,
Billy, don't be a hero.
yeah, hey, small cock.
These
where
boots
you,
are ready for walking.
Where are you going? Hey, I checked your fucking FICO score, rambling guy. You made $11,000 last year. Where exactly?
And you're underwater.
And by the way, you're riding a Honda CB 175 Enduro. Like, how far you think you're going to get on that piece of shit you picked up on eBay?
Think
You know
you're
what I
better than
mean?
me?
Yeah, I think you're better than me. That you gotta ramble. It was an interesting time, which is our relationship with men and women and their sexuality was fucking bizarre, and it was tilted so heavily on the male side, right? Like,
Indeed.
it's like,
Of course.
I'm leaving, baby. I'm rambling on. I'll give you some loving. if I come back.
You blame Kerouac for all that.
Yeah, but I got to ram those other women
got
that
to.
need me to ramble off in their hair, and I'm going there. I watched an episode of Love Boat.
What?
The episode of Love Boat I watched the other day was it's perfect. There's literally a 48-year-old sort of silver-haired, sort of plain-looking guy, not handsome, not unattractive, not skinny, not fat, just a sort of plain-looking guy. And the beginning act, he gets on his boat. He's getting on the boat. And, of course, he has his attorney with him. All those tropes are like the attorneys, Stanley's, don't do this and don't do that. Like your attorney follows you around and tells you what to do and what not to do. I don't want you to get in trouble.
Like your sobriety coach?
Right. And he's like, now listen, I know you're going to meet some woman on this trip. I know it. Now, the last time you did this, she, we had to write her a check for $500,000. I don't know, palimony or something was probably hot at the time, So it's like, you got to promise me you're not going to meet a woman. And he's like, I'm just going on this cruise to relax. And he's like, okay, but take this paperwork. And if you're going to take a woman back to your cabin, she's got to sign this paperwork before you do. And he goes, I don't even need the paperwork. I'll take it anyway for Act 3. But I'm just going to get on the ship and I'm just going to relax. And it's like, okay. So like the silver-haired, salt and peppery-haired, sort of plain-looking 50-year-old dude gets on this boat. And of course, 25-year-old beautiful women in bikini keep coming up to him and rubbing his shoulders going, oh, are you new to this deck? And he's like, no, I gotta jog. And he goes for a jog. And then he goes into the weight room and he's rowing on a rowing machine. And hot chick climbs out of the hot tub, body's a 10, tight bikini, and walks over to him and starts rubbing his shoulders and goes it's so hot in here. I better be cooler in your cabin. And he's like, oh, and leave me alone. And then he's going out on the deck again, and there's all these chicks, and I guess they're doing a bikini aerobics class in front of him, stretch and down and bend and thrust, and they're all coming up to him, and he's like, I can't. And it's like, do you really think that's how women's sexuality works and how a cruise works and how a single dude who is basically a 7.5, and it was twice the age of everybody who came up to him, that's how it works? Just bikini clad, just hot chicks just come start rubbing his shoulders and stuff. It was such a weird, skewed version of reality.
When did women start going into the writer's room? Because this is
a little too soon, if you ask me.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's like guys writing porn. It's the same dudes. They were watching 70s porn and wrote this.
But this is the interesting part when you watch the credits, and believe you me, I do. Half those things were written by women.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh, let's make it 40%. But there was women writing those things all the time.
That's shocking.
Yeah. It's just because it just was. You know what I mean? It wasn't even a male-female divide. It was this is how we have signed off in 1979. This is our concept of sexuality. There it is. So if you're a woman, you're going to write to it as well. Steve from Portland, who's 38, he's our pest control guy. He's going to tell me what to do with the goddamn ants. Steve?
Mr. Carolla, Gina, Brian, it's a pleasure to talk to you guys. I'm a huge fan, been listening since the Bonaducci days. Well, Loveline, but the show
thanks.
Since the Bonaducci.
Thanks. And all our pleas not to go into the pest control business fell on deaf ears?
So, man, I was it's funny, I had a great magnet kind of moment. My wife Sunday just randomly was scrolling through Twitter, and she's like, you should call the Carolla show. And I'm like, why? I have, similar growing up to you, and it was like, why the hell would anybody ever want to talk to me? And I got in the car on Monday and went, oh, well, since you guys are spending 20 minutes on pest control, maybe you do.
Steve, some people are old souls. You're old lungs.
Thank you.
You got to start
I
wearing
guess that's a compliment.
You got to start wearing a respirator.
Yeah, maybe all the chemical fumes, crawl space dust insulation.
All right, so what do we need to know about ants? I can find, to me, they're basically Al Qaeda. I have no idea. There's no theme. They don't want any ransom money. They're just into destruction.
Well, so I guess the first question would be: is what kind of ants do you have?
All I know is black and medium sized.
So that's the answer I totally expected. And since you don't know, your pest control company sucks.
Oh, really? They should be telling me, huh?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's nearly 1,000 varieties of ants in North America. We have different ants up here than you have down there, but I looked it up. Your most common ants are Argentinian ants, odorous house ants, thief ants, sparrow ants, fire ants, and a couple of varieties of carpenter ants.
What's the best way to get rid of them?
Well, so what you need to do is you need to contact a pest control company, preferably not one of the Taco Bell pest control companies. And what I would expect out of them is them to come out and do a thorough home inspection, kind of like if you were buying a house, and diagnose any problems and identify the ants, because all ants have different food sources, different breeding patterns.
Well, what's a general thing that works on most ants?
Well, so I'm going to assume, just based on what you were talking about, that you're having a problem with odorous house ants. It's what most people call piss ants or sugar ants.
Yeah.
Those ants are migratory. They can have up to 10,000 individuals in their colony.
All right, it's all good. Been trying for a while just to get a couple of tips on ants.
Right.
Max, this is what happens when you try.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Chalk,
just trying to get a
sugar water.
couple tips for the ants, and then we'll get on with it. Not looking to get into the pest control industry full time. Just like I'll dabble, of course. I'll dabble.
Sure. Do a little off under the table
Steve,
work.
10 seconds. What do's and don'ts with ants?
Hire a new pest control company.
All right. Okay. All right. We try. See, what happens is we talk about ants and how to get rid of ants and what motivates ants, and then Chris goes, well, what if we get a guy on who's an expert in ants? And we go, oh, that'll be fun and informative. But we don't find out anything other than I should hire a new pest control company.
This is like my biggest problem in my job interviews. I work too hard. He knows too much about rodents, ants, and pests.
But thanks anyway, Steve. I just don't feel any further down the ant highway here.
Not that this is going to help, but have you heard that if you put chalk on like a line of chalk, they can't or won't cross it for some reason?
Yeah,
like a baseball pitcher.
I've heard that a lot, but. The problem
it's like a fun magic trick.
It sounds good, but how do you practically apply it to ants inside your house? All right, let's see. We got slippery slope guy. Ooh. So says Max Zapata.
Yeah, so also when you had your late night show, in addition to 1780s Guy, you also did a bit called Slippery Slope Guy, and I figured you complain about the media these days, and I think he would fit right in.
Yeah, and somebody called in talking about it last week. Maybe it was me and Dr. Drew, but anyway, here's Slippery Slope Guy.
And now, an editorial from Slippery Slope Guy on sex education.
Is educating our children about sex important? Yes, but it's a slippery slope. First, you're teaching kids about the reproductive system. Then a transsexual is opening your child's mind to an alternative lifestyle. And the next thing you know, a gym coach and 6 shop teachers are pulling a train on your 7th grade daughter, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it.
As I recall, they all ended, and there's not a damn thing you can do.
That was Slippery Slope Guy. All right, well, that made me laugh. If you find any more of those, I'll listen. You have another one?
Oh. Yeah, we have 3 of them.
Oh, okay.
And now, an editorial from Slippery Slope Guy on conservation.
Is conservation a good idea? Sure. But it's a slippery slope. First, you're asked to join the van pool. Then the next thing you know, jackbooted government thugs are forcing you to commute to work on a plankton-powered moped, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it.
Plankton-powered moped. All right, I got one more.
And now, an editorial from Slippery Slope Guy on flag burning.
Do I believe in the First Amendment? You bet. But it's a slippery slope. You let a guy burn the symbol of America, and the next thing you know, he's burning the Bank of America. And then he's burning the Mall of America, and then he's burning Miss America, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it.
Sounds pretty bad.
Slippery slope guy. All right. Probably a lot of those probably make sense in today's world. All right. Let's see. Got Gang's Opinion. I'll just hit line 2 with Mark because it starts with once Gang's Opinion. Fresno Mark, 34.
Hey, guys. What's going on?
Hi, Guy.
Hey.
What's going on?
I wanted to get your guys' opinion on something.
Mm-hmm.
I work at a body shop. I'm a car painter, and a gal came by a couple weeks ago for an estimate and ended up giving me her phone number and just bailing on the estimate. So I went out on a date with her, and like you said, I'm 34, and about halfway into the date, it dawned on me I had no idea how old she was. And so when I asked her, she said she just turned 21. And I don't know, it kind of threw me for a loop because she didn't seem like she was 21, but apparently she is.
That means she's 16.
Does she have a college?
Don't say that.
Does she have a college degree?
Not as far as I know, because she's like a service advisor assistant at a dealership here in Fresno. So that doesn't ring college degree to me.
She was bringing the car in for the dealership?
No, well, it was her personal vehicle. She just came by here for an estimate.
I'm just worried she's going to go like, hey, why don't... Can you hear me, Mark?
I didn't catch that last part. I'm sorry.
I'm scared that she got an estimate for $1,900, and now she's like, hey, you want to go on a picnic Sunday? And you're like, yeah. And she's like, go ahead and bring your Bondo and your sanding block and primer. See what I'm saying?
I thought it was just attractive 21-year-olds, but you just opened a whole new window for me.
She could be using you for your Bondo, your plastic filler, your blocks, and your primer.
Yeah.
But Mark, you're 34. She's 21. Go ahead. That was just
consensual.
By the way, that was a humble brag call. Like, I want to get your guys' opinion. Okay.
How big a penis is Toobin?
Right.
I'm not going to say that this is BS, but I'm going to say it has Love Boat qualities.
Yeah. Well,
this hot 21-year-old comes in for an estimate. She says, I don't care about the estimate. Just take my number.
Right. All right. Let's see. We have a guy. Let's see. Pregnant wife. Oh, it's Brett the electrician, 32 from San Diego. Hi, Brett the electrician.
Hi, Guy.
Hi, Guy.
Ace man, I just found out my wife, she's pregnant. Found out this weekend and wanted to get your take, not necessarily on how to be a father, but more interested in, what's the pregnancy going to be like? Is there going to be a lot of bitching going on her end towards me?
I have sage advice. All right.
Oh, growing a human.
First, before we get into any of that, you got to find the dude who knocked her up and beat his ass. Okay, that's number one before we even get into the pregnancy and the child rearing and all that.
Far down on the list.
Right. All right. Here's what I would say. No one would listen. I'm sure Brett's not going to listen. I wouldn't listen to me either. But here's what I will say. From the time she discovers she's pregnant till the time you go home with the youngin', it seems like a long period of time, because of, everything is so focused, the baby's growing and the different stages and trimesters and classes and all that kind of stuff. It will pass in a blink of the eye, but you, my friend, shall be judged by those 8.5 months for the rest of your waking days. Oh, yeah. I don't care if you get divorced. I don't care if you move to an island. You shall be judged. It will be brought up constantly, and it will be a cudgel that will be used to beat you about the head and neck for the rest of your goddamn life.
Enjoy your ball of joy.
So, be the world's best fucking husband for that period of time. Now, you can become a womanizing alcoholic the second you guys get back from the hospital, because at some point she's going to be out, the kids are going to be 4. She's going to be out having brunch. One of the other yentas is going to go like, oh, I was pregnant with triplets and my husband went on a golf vacation, and they're all going to go, eee. And your wife will be the one who goes, oh, Brett rubbed my feet when I told him my ankles were swollen. And it's going to make those chicks hate your wife, but you'll be a fucking hero. You shall be judged. You'll be judged by this window, this less than a year window, for the rest of your relationship and beyond.
It's good advice.
Okay.
You get a lot to take in.
My life isn't that satisfying.
Yeah, I think guys, mine is blown.
Okay. Well, listen, I mean it. No one's going to do it, but I mean it. Yes.
Can I ask Gina a related question? Because, okay, how would you properly phrase this? Because childbirth goes a lot easier if you're in good shape. So, a good piece of advice would be like, hey, in that first trimester, start doing some fucking sit-ups, because you're gonna want to be strong, because that makes everything easier. But you can't say make sure you get your wife in shape. You know what I mean? How is a gentle way to relay that advice? How would you want to have that advice relayed to you?
I'm relaying it to you right now.
See your eyes?
I'm just trying to make your life easier, not you.
You know what you need to do? You need to slip the doctor a 20, because if that shit comes out of your mouth.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Go pound sand.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just trying to make people's lives easier.
By the way,
not having allergens in the air also helps. So you want to vacuum a little bit while you're at it?
Gina's eyes looked like Kirstie Alley on the toilet. Those were her eyes. Yeah.
I thought she was using an evil filter.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Let me tell you about Solo Stove. Whether you're camping in the woods or hanging out in the backyard, nothing like a roaring fire. Yeah. And now, finally, the weather is great for the Solo Stove. And there's nothing better than warming your hands over those hot cockles. Solo Stove. Fire pits and stoves engineered for adventure. Stainless steel construction designed to regulate airflow, burn more efficiently. So little smoke, you'll wonder how there's so much fire. I love mine. I put it in the backyard. I fire that bad boy up, and it's just beautiful, especially when there's a little chill in the air. No campfire. Little nip
in the air.
No campfire smell on clothes or in the hair either. Nothing left but ultra-fine ash for easy cleanup, easy and portable to move around as well. It's Solo Stove, right, Dawson?
No one needs a reason to gather around the fire. Solo Stove just took away any reason not to, and now you can get $10 off when you use promo code Adam at checkout. Just go to solostove.com and remember to get $10 off when you use promo code Adam.
All right, we got a call from the Submarine guy. We spoke to him before. I got a Unprepared. It's a rant on Gavin Newsom that people seem to enjoy. And we'll do all that right after this.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, Carolla, was there ever a greater 1970s sitcom trope than anchovies on the pizza? What was the deal with that? Has anyone ever had anchovies on pizza? Is it a real thing? Later. Love the shows.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
It used to be a thing, and it's also more interesting in a sitcom where you go, one pepperoni, one anchovy. I think it's the anchovy. I think they like the way that sounded.
With the tenor of the ordering.
And so if you have the guy doing the fake Italian accent in the sitcom and it's a plain cheese, it's not anchovy. So I think they liked saying anchovy. And then once something got in the zeitgeist, everyone just stole from everybody else. Gina's mic.
And how? Sorry, I muted myself because there was some construction. How else would Patrick Dempsey know you wanted to have sex with him in Loverboy if you didn't order extra anchovies on your pizza?
Point.
That's right, the great
Also,
Dempsey.
Did we agree on just certain things were just bad, like anchovies and beets? Like I've not had a lot of liver, so I can't say because liverwurst was like the go-to joke. Like what's for dinner? Liver. But like anchovies are fine. They're salty. They add a little salty whatever brininess to your pizza or whatever you have it on.
Well, let's throw it out this way. Let's say you went on a first date and you sat down with your lady or your man, and we're getting just a regular pizza. I don't want to start getting into deep dish and Chicago and all. Just they're getting a regular pizza. They're ordering toppings. Don't start factoring in bad breath. Don't go any of those places we normally go. Let's just stay right on. What would you like that person, or what would suggest something about them that was good? What would suggest something about them that was bad or indifferent? You know what I mean? Like if they said, I like plain cheese pizza, I'd think, okay, but I don't know. There's something not that interesting about that. Like that's what
a 5-year-old wants.
You're at a good place. You have good toppings, and they want a plain one. So I have some thoughts. With that in mind, what do you guys think?
If my date ordered sausage, but not sliced sausage, the crumbled sausage, I'd be like, yes, this is a person who knows what's better and what's good and what's better.
Keeper.
Well, and
all right.
Even if there's stuff that they order that I am not down with, like if they want, anchovies and, cloves of garlic or whatever, I would think that was sexy because they know what they want.
That sounds great.
And yeah, but it's not for me, but they know what they want. They're confident about it and they're worldly because if they've had that, then they've had pepperoni and they've had sausage, but they've decided that the best one is anchovies and garlic. So that's kind of hot.
If they're going to eat the grossest pizza, they're certainly willing to go down on you later.
That's right. That's right.
Not on the eyes.
Oh, Kirsty's on the squatter. Yeah, I was thinking that. I was thinking anchovy. Anchovy seems interesting. It seems like they have a little worldly whatever in them.
Yeah.
They're not some, dits from
No, it's not black
Reseda.
olives.
Yeah. I like anchovy. All right, we have an unprepared from. Is it Salt Lake?
Yeah, this is from Salt Lake City.
This is me on Gavin Newsom. Here we go.
Lab line? Gavin. Oh, Gavin Newsom. Yeah, it gets me angry. Gavin, that's the best interview ever, right? Yeah, Gavin Newsom. So I got a theory, because Gavin Newsom, so California is like the only thing in California that's not on fire are the homeless. It's just homeless people and fire. That's all there is. Everyone is moving to Nashville, and they're moving to Texas. Everyone's moving out of town, and his thing is like, okay, let me see. By 2035, no more internal combustion engines can be sold in the state of California. And you're like, okay, Gavin, the building's on fire. There's a pyramid of homeless people out front. Joe Rogan just went to Nashville. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Okay, all right, let's see. Okay, I got something that's going to fix this. No business with more than 18 employees shall have a boardroom that does not have a bi-curious llama in it. A bi-curious llama of color. We're going to need an owl that's transitioning. The fucking state is on fire and we're broke, okay? Let's see what I got here. I'd like to reduce our carbon footprint. The fucking place is on fire. Our footprint is the size of Sasquatch wearing a waffle stomper. Okay, did I talk about that bi-curious owl yet? Well, I'm fresh out of ideas. You know what I realized? He picks fucking weird, inane shit because it's the kind of stuff you would focus on if you were out of problems. Right? Like if you didn't have schools that were failing and taxes that were too high and you can't make payroll and everyone's out of money and there's no more unemployment checks coming in and everything is on fire and homeless and fucked up, if you will all somehow be distracted by that if you worked on the little shit that makes no difference. So here's a good example. I'll give you an example. If you like met a couple and you said to the guy, like you're at a restaurant, you know, and you said to the guy, what are you up to? You like to work around the house? And he's like, I'll tell you what I'm doing right now. I'm down in the garage, I'm doing all stainless steel cabinetry. All stainless steel cabinetry, I'm going full Euro style hinge, I'm going to full extension Accurite slide ball bearing things in there. I got everything labeled. I got them all laid out, everything's alphabetical. You would think, oh, I bet that guy's fucking master bedroom looks pretty damn good, right? You wouldn't picture raccoons fucking on his bed with a homeless guy taking a shit next to it, would you? That's what Gavin Newsom does to us. Gavin Newsom picks bizarre, inane things that don't make a difference to anyone living in his state and focuses on them as if we've now conquered every problem. Be like you going, well, I'd like to, my son speaks Mandarin, but he doesn't speak Cantonese. And you go, isn't your son a junkie? Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah, he's shooting up right now in the hall closet.
There you go, Gavin Newsom in Salt Lake City.
And speaking of Gavin Newsom, did you hear the latest on the parks opening, the amusement parks?
Oh, no,
Just
I did
in the last
not.
hour?
No.
So, they thought long and hard about it, and it was going to be breaking news. We should arrive at some sort of new conclusion in the next hour. We did, and it's that big parks like Universal and Disneyland can still not open until we're in the yellow tier, which is the lowest tier.
Jesus. What?
And not open at 25% capacity.
Here's kind of the problem with the setting up of the sort of fairly arbitrary tier system. You never satisfy the tier system until you're in the lowest possible risk. And the lowest possible risk is like, we go 29 days without losing a soul. Like, so you make the lowest risk unattainable. And then you go, and then when Disney goes, can we reopen? You go, well, look at the chart.
Yeah, you tell me.
The chart you shat out 20 minutes ago randomly, that chart? Like, yeah. I'm now really realizing I think it's all just, we have to wait for the election. I think we're just kind of at that point, but which is sad, but we do have amusement parks open all over the country and the world. Why is that not an indicator? And whenever I get up in the morning and I turn on CNN and I see the map and they have all the color codings on the map, California, we've been beige for 6 weeks now. Like, if you look at the CNN map in the morning, our state is doing better than almost every other state. Mm-hmm. And if you were just to look at that map, if you looked at the map of, I don't know, new coronavirus cases or something, if you looked at the map and you said, guess which state isn't open? Guess which state has an amusement park and remains shuttered? You'd go, well, not California. California's, they look good compared to all the other colors on that map. You'd have no idea. And again, what is it's a scary thing when the answer is no, and we don't have to give you an explanation other than you're not meeting our criteria. But
Right.
we don't really need to tell you what the criteria is, or it's not really achievable.
Mm-hmm. And I think we're the only Disney park not open in the world, right? Because the one that Shanghai's open, Walt Disney World's open.
Yeah, it sounds, they're open in Florida and Texas, I guess. That's it. I don't know so it's weird. So whenever I say this to Mike August. Mike August goes, because Gavin's got his eye on the presidency. And I'm like, but fucking California is a rocket ship ride to the White House? It's like, hey, he wants to be in the national news. You know, he wants to be that guy, you know? And I'm like, why? What's attractive about that? And it's like, well, he's in the news. He's large and in charge. You know, he's not opening. He's in control. He's playing it safe. He's looking out. And it's like, at a certain point, how does the math work in tax revenues, and how does it? Yes, go ahead, Gina.
Well, no, I'm to that point too, specifically about Gavin. I reported a story last night where, he's talking about the availability of a vaccine, and don't get excited if you hear that a vaccine has been approved, because it won't be mass available until next year, and it goes to, of course, the most vulnerable first, and that includes prisoners. And
everyone at Knott's Berry Farm first. Yeah, goes to Spillikin Corners, and then
Land.
Oh, yeah, the prisoners are getting... Yeah,
the chicken diner, whatever it is.
We owe them our gratitude.
Yeah,
oh,
right.
God. I don't even want to... there's the map, yeah.
We're beige.
We're looking at the map. We're good in beige. There's only 7 or 8. First off, terms of major beige states, there's 3 or 4. But us, I mean, California's the biggest and the beigest, baby. Why don't we get to... Why can't I go inside a restaurant? We're beige. We've been beige. What is that? And other than you'll know who's in control, I don't know what it is, but can we get some advocates for our side, the eat inside the restaurant, civil liberties, open Disneyland side? Can we get some people in that meeting, or is it just 5 people who don't want to reopen who are going to take a vote every Monday morning? Shall we reopen? No. Okay. Keep it closed.
Till next time.
Can we get a couple business? Yeah.
It's like a bunch of fat guys voting on whether or not to go to the gym.
Right. Can we get a couple?
We good here?
Yeah, get a couple of business guys in there a couple of restaurant owners or something like that. It's also, the protocols are so common and so ubiquitous now, and also so known. I mean, so much better known now than in March, that why wouldn't you? I mean, we know what to do. We diminish the capacity. We do the distancing. Everyone wears a mask. I wipe down the Matterhorn. And all the other. And I think the schools have been reopening around the country, and there's been some outbreaks, but not much. I mean, the kids have been good.
Did you hear what Barbara Ferrer said about Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Sounds like a joke.
You have to stay home with your single family, and this year only tofurkey. Sorry,
right.
No meat is murder.
Turkey is a super spreader.
That's right.
You're only allowed to get together, and I don't know how they would find this out, but you're only allowed to get together with 2 other families from different households, and if you do, you have to eat outside.
Or
how is that enforced? I don't know.
Or you can fuck off, bitch, and we'll do whatever the fuck we want. I don't know what's taking everyone so long. I mean, everyone was always yelling at me when I was telling everyone, just fucking go do what you want. Just do it. You want Gavin Newsom and that fucking nutty scarecrow in charge of your life. Fuck it, it's your life. Enjoy yourself. I'm not fucking dancing to the tune of the retarded Piper. Fuck that. It's weird. It's the saddest part. It's not them. It's everyone genuflecting in front of those people. They're fucking on the rules. The rules. Fuck it. Just go fucking live your life. See what happens. Roll the dice. Take a Southwest flight. Eat indoors. Have another family and go into your dining room with them. Woo! Go crazy. Play some lawn darts. Enjoy. Jesus H. Christ. All right, let's see. We got line 4 over here. Matt, who's the submarine guy. Matt, 36, Illinois.
Yeah, I tell you, that whole thing is that's a tough act to follow. I'm just here to talk about a sea story.
Well, hold on.
Have you done eating competition? Yes, sir.
You're in Illinois. Are you guys allowed to eat inside restaurants?
There are it kind of depends on where you're at, but yeah, there is indoor dining in some places. I don't think Cook County a whole lot, but yeah, it does happen.
I was out in Beverly Hills last week with my daughter and we're walking down the sidewalk, and of course everyone's just sitting on the sidewalk eating, but I'm telling you, those tables are getting closer and closer together. They started off
there's
far apart.
There's outdoor seating all over the place here, and yeah, they're definitely getting closer. The social distancing part of it, people are getting a little bit more lax with it. It's becoming a lot more relaxed here for sure.
So
6 feet's become 4.5 feet.
That's right. They're doing to social distancing what they did to my plywood. Matt?
2x4s.
That's right, 2x4s. Question? Comment?
But I wanted to kind of ask you guys, if you guys have ever been, this is perfectly in time, we were talking about the hot dog eating competition. Have you guys ever been in a eating competition, like you know what I mean, like a pie eating contest or whatever?
Well,
what you got?
One and one only, but what do you got?
Oh, well, I was in a Vienna sausage eating contest on the Submarine when we were doing our Mediterranean cruise. It was some deployment. And
Is
here
it
were
in
the
Vienna?
stakes.
Yeah.
Anybody could enter, and first place got a 3-day pass in Italy. Like you wouldn't have to check in. You're gone. Boom. And then as long as you promise to come back.
Is that where
Third
my
place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that where my tax dollars are going? You guys binge eating Vienna cocktail weenies in a sub, by the way. Worst place ever to have a fucking eating competition because someone's yakking.
No fresh air, no window to open.
Well, don't get too far ahead of me. But
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
all right, good. So, all right, first place got the 3-day pass. Third place through whoever else got nothing. So there was no. Second place had to drink all of the juice, all the hot dog juice.
Yeah,
that was
I like that.
produced
Why
during
would you punish the second place?
the competition.
Oh yeah.
That's what guys do.
A buddy of mine and me got third and fourth. We both put up our hands and we're like, nope, we're done. We're not doing it. So then the other two assholes had to figure it out.
How long is your submarine? The submarine you were on?
The LA class is 365 feet across or across long, and then 33 feet at the beam. Like that's how far across it is.
Hell, that's bigger than Hitler's yacht.
It is. Take that.
I was listening because when you said, "Oh, that sounds like a warship," I'm like, "Yeah, that's about as long as a submarine." That's a hell of a piece of equipment.
Yeah, so you guys can make your own oxygen, stay under as long as you want, go under the polar caps. I mean, there's nothing you can't do. There's enough
anywhere.
You got enough firepower on that one submarine to destroy the world. Is that correct?
On some of them, there's your two different flavors of well, there's more now, but there's your fast attack submarines that were the Los Angeles class, the Hunt for Red October, all those. Those all have conventional missiles. Those are just, Tomahawk missiles. The bigger ones, the Ohio class, those are 500, 600 something feet long, and they have all of the nuclear missiles, the Trident missiles, and all that. So those are the guys that could blow up the world. What was that? Red Dawn with Gene Hackman? Was that movie?
Yeah. What could you What could you cruise at underwater? Is that classified?
That is classified. I'm sorry to tell you. Wikipedia gives you like 20-something knots plus, something like that.
So you could pull that thing up with the nukes in it anywhere you want, destroy the world.
Stop giving my
pull up. You know what I mean? Like you can launch them from periscope depth. Like
right.
But yeah, you could just come up to a couple of how many ever 100 feet. And then let them loose, and then it's all over.
What's periscope depth?
I don't know if I can tell you that.
Wow. Well, why don't you tell us? You can't tell us.
You can probably guess. how long could periscopes be?
Well,
but,
I don't think that long, but I'd probably be surprised. What's mid
20 meters?
How long could?
Yeah, that seems about right. Hey, Matt, thanks for your service, buddy. And
thank you.
Thanks for the submarine. Old-timey submarine crew, not for me. New-timey, not too shabby. Hot dog eating competitions, whatnot.
3-day pass in Italy. Before we jump off the hot dog or the eating contest, can I show you a quick picture with a story?
Mm-hmm.
Please.
The picture that's being put up right now is one of my best friends. Her name is Lindsay. She's a teeny tiny little pixie school teacher. She happens to be the daughter of Andy Parker from UFO.
Wow.
And she's one of my oldest and best friends. Would you agree that she's tiny?
She literally has a pencil skirt.
Yes, she has pencils. She's an adorable, crafty little art teacher. She is just the cutest, little, tiniest thing. She has won multiple eating contests. My favorite is 75 chicken McNuggets against a bunch of frat boys at a McDonald's. It is amazing the food that this one can put down. Like, she's all about surf and turf. She's not a purger. She's got the metabolism, and she wins many eating contests.
Wow, she's 110 pounds. Yeah,
all hail Lindsay.
It's not the size. So Matt was the Porcelain Punisher was in Palm Springs last weekend, and they had some protocols by the pool.
Yeah, I think you'd get a kick out of this as long as
Was it 111 degrees by the pool?
It was about that. Yeah, it was just over 100. It wasn't too terrible. But what was terrible were the insane rules for the pool area. So to begin with, every room was entitled to a 2-hour time slot in the pool area only.
Really?
So
they rotated everybody.
They rotated it, and what ended up happening in the case of my family's scenario is my parents had a room, my wife and I had a room, so we technically had 2 time slots we could use.
You got the 3 a.m. to 5 a.m.
Oh,
slot?
you know it. So we had to go from 10:30 to 12:30. Everybody has to leave the pool area, and then at 1 o'clock, go right back to where we were. And in the meantime, they're like wiping down all of the stations and clearing every single person out.
Do they have any instances of people spreading this outdoors when they're socially distanced? I mean,
in the hot desert sun.
In the pool, is there any problemos at the beach or on the bike path? Like I've not even. If you talk to experts, they just go, it's not really spreadable outside in the heat if people are kind of spread out. That's the least of your worries. That's why when you go through Beverly Hills, everyone is out on the sidewalk 3.5 feet apart eating because somebody's deemed that safe. Ugh.
Well, speaking of eating, this was the other part that was absolutely insane. So here in California, all the bars have pretty much closed down because unless you can serve food, you're not allowed to be open. But at the pool bar at the hotel where it's 25% capacity, everyone's spread out, you had to order an entree with any pool drink that you wanted.
That's can do.
Well, sure. You think so, my friend. But it was literally entree. So I would not be able to get chips and salsa, but I could get nachos.
All right. You couldn't get chips, salsa, and a beer.
Right.
And you certainly just couldn't get a beer without the chips and the sauce.
I tried every day that we were there to just order 2 Mai Tais. And every single time they were like, nope, you need to have food with it. And I'm like, it's 10:30 in the morning. I just want to drink alcohol.
And you're alone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other.
Yeah, the pool was empty.
All right,
and
everyone.
The hot tubs were closed too. What?
All of
Why?
the chicken paillard and 11 Mai Tais.
Have fun with all your rules, everybody. Tell me how it goes. Tell me if they ever peel any back. Tell me if they ever make any sense. And then you tell me how much power do you want the government to have? What do you want from the government? What are you asking them to do? My assumption is they're like beavers on the roof of the Empire State Building. They're going to start looking for wood to build a dam. That's what beavers do. Fucking legislators and lawmakers, that's what they do. They just make rules. They don't get rid of rules. They don't examine old rules and see if they're effective. They just make more rules. And there's something attractive about that to somebody, to a large group of people. I don't know what's attractive about that. You want to be led by dumb people. Okay. Doesn't sound like a great plan to me. I'm not fucking down with these retards. I don't get it. It's very self-evident now. They want power. They want rules. They're not really interested in whatever your best interest is, and it's basically it's now become a quality of life situation. Their rules, meaning Matt and his wife and his family, they fucked up his vacation with their rules. They fucked up his quality of life with fucking inane rules. All right. We have slippery slope guy.
No, I was just telling you after your
rules.
rant.
I should yell. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. All right. Let's see. Oh, Steve's coming in studio?
He's here.
Oh, he's here. We love Steve. All right. Let me hit Geico. You know what is scary? Not saving a ton on your auto insurance. You got to get down with the Geico people. Go to geico.com, spend a couple of minutes, and see just how much you could be saving. 15% or more on your car insurance. Stop waking up in a cold sweat and thinking about it. Go to geico.com. Find out just how much you could be saving in your car and your RV and boat insurance at geico.com. Well, stand-up comedian and writer and director and friend Steve Byrne will be in right after this. All right, Steve Byrne is here, comedian, actor, writer, director.
Chocolatier.
Chocolatier. The Opening Act is a great movie. We had Jimmy O. Yang in here last week talking about it, and I'm tickled pink for you, Steve.
Oh, thank you.
We spoke backstage, maybe at the Comedy Store a couple times.
Yes, sir.
And we're talking documentaries and filmmaking.
Your documentaries.
And I thought it's so nice. I love it when someone just has an idea, goes out there and executes it. It's great when it comes out great, like your movie, but even if it doesn't, if they just go out and do it. Like you have an idea,
yep.
You write it, you get everyone together, you raise the money, 18 days, shoot, boom.
Exactly, yeah. It was, my phone was never ringing off the hook. So it was one of those things where it's like, I just got to put pen and paper. That's the only way I get any work, I guess, in this town. So it was great. But I loved like, your docs are passion projects. This film was a passion project. I almost think like this film and Road Hard could bookend someone's career.
Right.
Because mine was like going to Vegas for the first time when you're 20, and yours is like driving home from Vegas as that headliner. And I always thought that I loved in Road Hard when you get offered the audience warm-up, because that's something I haven't really seen too often. People haven't explored that facet in feature films or television. I think that's just such one of those roles that most people just don't think about. But I was glad to see you explore that in Road Hard.
Yeah, audience warm-up was sort of like publicists, like people years ago, like they didn't even know what someone. Now people kind of know what a audience warm-up guy is and what a publicist. We're all getting pretty savvy and like Hollywood lingo, but audience warm-up is either the best day of your life, like the drive to Vegas, like
right.
When you're 23 and you can make $2,000 a night warming up, Married with Children or something, or it's How the Mighty Have Fallen, like washed up comedian. It could be a bummer.
Yeah, there's. I mean, that's the Wild West of stand-up comedy. You just never know where you're going to end up, and every comic has that story of last night I did the Tonight Show and tonight I'm XYZ, and I remember eating a plate of dicks at the Comedy Store. I just done the Tonight Show. I'm like feeling great. I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to do a set. I'm going to go home and watch my set. And you go to the store and just ruin your whole evening by bombing in front of 20 people. And it was the same set. It's like, what just happened? What happened? I'm Fred Willard. What happened?
They have an audience warm-up guy at the Tonight Show, gets the audience all.
That's right.
What year was that? I guess obviously Leno's hosting.
Yeah, I did it. That was crazy. I did the Tonight Show 10 times with Leno, and ever since I haven't done one talk show. So it's kind of weird.
Were you doing panel, as they say, or stand-up?
Both. Both. Yeah, floating back and forth and doing like some interviews with Kathleen Madigan and Jim Norton and stuff. Like after the monologue, they do some fun piece with comedians.
Oh, yeah, that was during his 10 o'clock show, right?
I did his 10 o'clock show, yeah. I did it once, and that didn't last too long, but I did it once and then bounced back to Tonight Show. Yeah.
How, so Jimmy O we talked to, but you get
The
your
best.
Bill Burrs and Eliza Schlesinger. Are these like all just people you put the clamp on and backstage at the Comedy Store? Because these are all the people you see floating around there.
No, it was literally like, I gotta cast a skanky looking cop, and it was just like, hey, Segura, are you available to be a skanky looking cop? He's like, yeah, perfect. It's my wheelhouse, baby.
Right.
Well, that's my question then. How many roles, because you wrote the movie, obviously, how many roles were written with people in mind? I'm specifically wondering about Jimmy O Yang, but also all the supporting roles. And then how many roles were like, you wrote it just thinking it was an interesting part and you offered it to somebody?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Brian. It's a really fantastic question. Let me get to that.
Oh, yeah.
Let me think. No, I never wrote it with anybody in mind. I was just writing from my own experiences because I was Jimmy O Yang. I was the MC. I was Alex Moffat's character for a few years before I got more serious. And then now I am Billy G. I go on the road. I'm a little haggard. I not necessarily want to talk to the MC and tell him how I got started and all that horse shit conversation you have every time you meet a new MC. And I get it. I was that kid. So, of course you want to be pleasant, but Billy G is named after Billy Gardell, who's on Mike and Molly and Bob Loves Abishola, because I did this Jameson whiskey tour years ago with Bert Kreischer, Pete Corelli, a bunch of great comics, and Gardell was on it. So all these headliners, and Gardell closed it, and he taught me how to be a headliner. And he said that one line that was like a great one-hit wonder that always stuck in my head. It was, when I was younger, I used to think I have to make them laugh so I feel good. Now I know I make them laugh so they feel good. It's the best job in the world. And when he said it, it always just it just burned in the hard drive. I'm like, that's great. And then when I was writing it, it was like, that just came out. I remembered it. So
that is a great line.
Definitely after Gardell. But I never wanted to cast just actors, because if I cast actors for that morning radio scene, I'd have to go, okay, this is what it's like when you're a comic. You've been drinking since 4 till 4 a.m. Now you're at 6 a.m. and you got to tell jokes. And with Russell, Eliza, and Brooks Wheelan, it was just like, look, you've done this, you've been there. Let's just try it out. So there was a second hand with all the comics on. It was a lot of fun.
What is, speaking of the Comedy Store, what is the status of the Comedy Store right now?
Well, the status is that they have the bars open, and that's kind of it. I think they have like shows
Bizarro
in that
world.
bay window, where they podcast and people can sit in that front bar
opening,
and watch it.
Open air. But no stand-up.
No stand-up, no. I think limited, like they can broadcast it on a screen or like via Zoom or something like that. But
well, I'd heard that they're trying to set something up in the parking lot, and then the city put the kibosh on it.
Shut it down. It's crazy. I heard you talking before I came in. I'm staying in Seal Beach, literally on the border of Orange County and LA County. And in Seal Beach, with my wife and kids, we walk down the street, down that main street. It's beautiful. Walk into a restaurant, limited capacity, but we can sit down and have a meal. Mm-hmm. And it's nice. Literally, you drive a mile, if that.
Right.
It's like you're in Germany. Complete shutdown, lockdown. People look at you weird if you don't wear a mask. All that's, it's crazy.
Yeah, Orange County, which I don't know how many other places work this way, and I don't even really know the legality of it, but Orange County is a little slice of Republican, conservative, whatever, even though they're not even really Republican anymore. But it's just different areas take on their personalities. And Silver Lake has one personality in Echo Park. And,
that's right, yeah.
Canoga Park has another personality, not desirable. Malibu. And Orange County just kind of has its own personality. And that personality is a little more... it's a little more red than it is blue.
Yeah.
And so they just, through this whole thing, we're kind of going, we're going to do what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And I guess the governor's like, no walking on the beach. And Orange County's like, we're not going to listen to that. We'll just let people walk on the beach.
Yeah.
And
as they're doing the backstroke. Whatever, Newsom.
So people are just doing what they want. And I know two of the guys I speak to most frequently are Mike August and Dr. Drew. Mike August moved to Orange County, and Dr. Drew has a weekend place down there. And every time I talk to those guys, I go, Saturday at 5 in the afternoon, I go, what are you guys doing tonight? And they're like, we're going out to dinner. Like, But outdoors? No, you can go in. You can go or back when we couldn't do any dining, they're like, yeah, you go out and sit in the patio or whatever. And I was like, oh, because I'm going down to my basement with a salt lick and a pistol. And they're like, no, we're going out with friends. And I'm like, oh. By the way, they are 31 miles away from me, and there doesn't seem to be any difference. It's just somehow they went, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, that 1 mile, Seal Beach, Orange County, and LA County, it's crazy. You just walk out, and it's like, oh, you can live your life here. And then you come to LA County, and you gotta harbor yourself from all the homelessness,
right?
And all that crazy shit.
All I want to say is, after 4 months of people not dropping dead in Orange County, well,
I think we're good.
Yeah, why not
open Disneyland? They're doing it in Florida.
Ugh.
You don't think so?
No,
They did it in Florida. Florida's
they should open every fucking thing. We should have a book drop on Monday at noon where you just drop the book and everything opens. Just everyone goes, fuck it.
Like
Prison Break.
Give them the purge.
Give them the purge.
Yeah.
All right. So this is frustrating. Where are you doing stand-up, or are you doing stand-up?
I rarely do It's funny. Just before the pandemic hit, my daughter's 8 years old. She's at the point now where she realizes daddy's leaving. She gets emotional. Why do you have to leave every weekend? And the last time I was pulling out of the driveway, I see her in the bay window. She's crying, and I'm just every fiber just wants to throw the car in park and go, Daddy's not leaving you, but I got to keep the lights on. So I go. The next week I come home. Pandemic hits. We're all quarantined. The next 6 months, I'm like, this is the greatest. I'm with my wife. I'm with my kids. This is beautiful. And about the 7th month, I was just like, what water fountain did you chuck a quarter into and wish for your daddy to stay home? Because you've crippled the global economy, ruined small businesses, our freedoms are taken away. It's all my daughter's fault, wherever the camera is. It's my daughter's fault, so I'm going to drain that fountain and burn it.
It's hard to burn a fountain.
Really? I'm going to drain it though first, and then
I know, but it's just nothing but blocks of concrete and carved alabaster. You know, it's not that flam.
Tile.
Yeah. We'll do a barn.
But I'm going to. I think I'm going to Cleveland. Is my first date since a while. So I'll be there like Halloween weekend at Hilarities, and I just got that offer today. And then hopefully November I can start working in December. But it's been nuts. Even when I was in the edit bay, I came home. I told my wife I got a tailor to come over. I got a nice tuxedo. I never owned a tux, so I was like, got a tux. I got her a beautiful dress. I said, we're going to wear this when the film premieres. She said, great.
Right.
And I pulled it out on Friday, and I pulled it out of the closet. I go, we're going to wear these in the living room when the film premieres.
It's available now on digital and video on demand, by the way. And I noticed that Vince Vaughn and Peter Billingsley are
Your old neighbor,
and those guys are partners. I think I went out to dinner with those two guys in my old neighborhood. Peter Billingsley is the kid from
Christmas
Story. Yeah. He's all grown up now. How did you get them to produce this, or what is your relationship with those guys?
Been best pals for a long time. I moved to L.A. They were doing the Wild West comedy documentary, which still holds up. It's a great doc about young comics starting, and they were doing a show in Vegas, and I went and did it. 2,000 people. I went up cold. Vince walked out for maybe 30 seconds and introduced me, got a standing ovation. It was one of those nights things clicked, and then I come upstairs like, who the hell is this guy? And 2 weeks later, I'm in Costa Rica with a bunch of guys and Vince, and ever since then,
we're
best pals.
looking at a picture of it.
That was the night I met them, actually.
Some Goldilocks shit.
I just come off
Did you have to
stage.
stand in order?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But yeah, Vince and Peter met doing an after-school special when they were both, I think, 18, both moved to L.A., and Peter was a star athlete, and Vince was on the track team, and Peter started shooting up, started taking steroids, and Vince, very dramatically, you got to get off this junk, man.
Sorry, in the after-school special, I was like, he was a star athlete, and Vince was shooting what?
Yeah.
That they met, filming the after-school special. You weave such an intricate tale. You brought me right. I was there.
That's right.
Vince was intervening into Peter's life.
Yeah, they've been great. I mean, they've been great. We did Sullivan's Son together. We did this film together, and I just wrote this film on a whim because, again, I wasn't working. I was on the road. I just thought I'm going to write a film as an exercise to see if I can do it. And then I wrote it. I just gave it to Vince saying, am I way off base? Or is this even worth anything? And then, a year later, we're making it.
Well, it's those kinds of endeavors that really they're. I'll try not to get too lost in thought, but what I'm saying is I think everyone thinks in terms of training or certificates or getting licensed or something, or having a dad who's prominent or a mom who's prominent or going to a prominent school. If you could just graft one thing onto your kids, it would be beginning, middle, and end. It'd be, where you were when you had the idea for the opening act. I guess when I came up with the idea for the Hammer, I know exactly where I was. I was driving on Coldwater Canyon. I was going right past the street that goes up to Bill Maher's house, like Cherokee or something, like whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I was just driving, and I know exactly where I was. And then I remember going to the premiere, which I could legally attend back then, and you have the beginning, all of this middle, and then the end. And then when the next thing comes around, when everyone else is overwhelmed or explaining why it's not going to work or how difficult it is, you just have that in your head.
Yeah, I never once thought, I was like, look, I just wanted to make a great film about stand-up. That was my thought process. And it's funny you mentioned that because I was in San Jose. I came off stage. I'm just like, I got to do something. The show had been canceled. I'm back on the road. You're not relevant anymore. Even when the show was on, there wasn't this dramatic shift in my career. And I was in San Jose, and I went to Original Joe's, and I sat down, and I picked up. I had with me Save the Cat in my backpack that I had for like years. It was just sitting there. I pulled it out. I started reading it again. I'm like, I'm gonna write something. I'm gonna write something about stand-up comedy, and that's how it all started. And I thought, show it for the first time. Show some young kid going to a club for the first time, because it's not just about the 10 minutes you're on stage. It's the light, bachelorette parties, hecklers, pleasing the manager, hoping you get asked back, warming up to the road weary veteran, all the intricacies that you got to deal with, and the morning radio, and the fact that it's your first time. You're gonna suck. You're going to stink. And so you've got to, each time you fail, you get a little bit better and you get a little more well-versed and you develop an arsenal of weapons, and eventually you'll become a better working comic. So I just wanted to take the audience through the inside baseball of it all and show them what it's really like at the beginning, because failure and stand-up are synonymous. It's a symbiotic relationship, but that dopamine is that one drug, that one hit of like laughter you get from something you wrote in the car or on the train or on the plane, and taking that out there to a room full of strangers and they laugh, you think, fuck, that's it. That's why I'm back tomorrow. And you put up with it. And I just love those days of blind optimism and romanticism, sleeping in my Saturn, driving across the country, pulling into college campuses and taking showers at the rec center, pretending I went to school there so I could get a shower as I'm going to my next shit gig.
You fucking Asians can get away with murder on a college campus. Somebody tries to bust you, and you're like, oh, my dad's going to fucking throw you off this campus, boy.
Yeah.
Currently 83% with critics and 94% with the audience. For comedies, that is off the goddamn charts. Yes,
And
Gina.
just as Steve says, showing the behind the scenes, I'd like to take it a step further. You pull the camera even farther back and show people who are just thinking about getting into this while they deal with the shit job they're in. Now, I don't know anyone who can't relate to that in some form. And the boss, who played beautifully by Bill Burr, who just thinks, I have it all figured out. This is what life's about. Platitude. You're fine where you are. And who among us hasn't been caught in that purgatory?
Yeah, when I was starting to write it, I was thinking, what was the last job I had? I was a waiter at a Greek restaurant called the Aegean on 73rd in Columbus. And when I gave the script out, Cedric said he was actually working for State Farm Insurance. That was his last job, and that's when he got intrigued to say, yeah, I'll do this. So I do think it's funny. And the tough thing with Bill Burr being the boss is we left so much on the floor. He was so goddamn funny. And what we learned in test screening was that we had to temper his performance down, because there has to be some sense of stakes. Like if he leaves this job and does stand-up and he fails, you can just go back to that fun job with that really cool boss. Mm-hmm. So we had to truncate a lot of this stuff. But man, if this film ever got to be popular enough where I could show everybody all the things we left out that the comics were improving, it'd be, oh God, it's a totally different film.
we will. Let's see.
Gotta imagine it was a fun set, just by the nature of just who was in the movie.
Total blast. Every day was great. Alex was great. I hadn't met Alex before. Colin Jost from SNL recommended him to me.
Alex Moffat, yeah.
And I'd seen an independent film he did called like Uncle Henry or something. It was really good, and he's so grounded, and he just took this role. And in many ways, there's a lot of people that say he stole the film because he's just such a crazy character. But I do want to preface.
So grounded, you say?
Yeah. Everything in the film has happened to me in real life. So once he hits the road, I did end up under that trailer after a show in Raleigh, North Carolina at Charlie Goodnight's, fearing for my life. And this is back when I didn't have a cell phone, so scared out of my goddamn mind. I bombed on radio on KLOS here in Los Angeles.
Mark and Brian?
No, Frank, Heidi, and Frosty at the time. I'm friends with them now, but I bombed so bad on radio. It was the second time I ever did radio. The first time was Stern. I was like, I wish somebody would have pulled me aside and said, don't do this. You're not ready yet. I wasn't ready.
What? Why were you on Stern? I don't mean to sound insulting, but I mean, what was going on career-wise?
Craig Gass, great comic, impersonator, was doing it a bunch, and he had all these stories that he would...
What year was this?
Oh, God, this has got to be 99, 98, somewhere in there.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So Craig's on there a lot. He's telling these guys some stories about me, and then I have a ton of bad stories about Craig. So they said, and that's how it all happened. They're like, come on, talk about Craig.
That sounds sterny.
It was brutal.
Let me hit Red Cap, and then we'll do some news. That's Red Cap with a K, by the way, not a C. Red Cap's one of the oldest makers of workwear in the country, outfitting our essential workforce for nearly a century. They have something for seemingly every industry, from coveralls to high visibility work shirts to oil blocking chef coats and shop shirts as well. They sent us a bunch of these coveralls, and the work gear is just second to none. You can see the quality, you can smell it, you can taste the quality, but they sent it all out to us, and everyone here digs it. So I think you should check it out right now. Go to redcap.com, enter promo code Adam, get 20% off your first order. This offer ends November 20th, so get in there and buy some top-tier industrial-grade workwear. It's perfect for any job. That's Redcap with a K, Redcap with a K, promo code Adam. All right, we'll take a quick break. Steve Byrne will hang in, and we'll do the news right after this.
Give me the news with Grad, news with Gina Grad, breaking viral, all those crazy Trump tweets. Give me news with Gina Grad, trouble in the Middle East, celebrity drunk meltdowns. Need news with Gina Grad.
The news with Gina Grad.
Sorry, Steve. Steve, can you talk about what you were talking about off the air?
Yeah, I was just I was asking you how you feel about staying in California, et cetera, et cetera. And after the 5th month, my wife and I, we always liked Los Angeles, but never loved it.
Yeah.
She's a Minnesota girl. I'm Rust Belt. I'm Pittsburgh. And I'm like, I always liked it, but even like now at Seal Beach, I really don't go to the beach all that often. I'm not a beach guy.
What about seals? you left.
Are they good enough for you?
Well, I bring the ball
Seal
down
Beach.
and I'm waiting for them to balance it. It never happens.
No, I will say this. All right, here's my. You guys can tell me. I've not really thought about this. It's a combination when you've lived in Los Angeles your whole life, and you think about these other places. These other places didn't have a fill in the blank. My new thing is, if it's got a fucking P.F. Chang's, I'll move there. Because you've reached a certain
Jersey
level,
Mike's? Okay, yeah.
certain level of civilization. But when you start traveling, as we all do, and you really start traveling, getting into the kind of the nooks and the cracks of places. You play a comedy club. Play the comedy club, you hang out for 2.5 days. Saturday, you got nothing to do all day. Find yourself walking around town. And you now find yourself walking around going, not too shabby.
Yeah.
Hey, this is not bad. So when I was a kid in Southern California, if you would have said Salt Lake City, I would have been like, a podunk. Come on, man.
Right,
Or
yeah.
Nashville. So I'm not a shit kicker. Like, whatever it is. So what's going on and why so many people are flirting with this is California is going down, but these other places are going up. There's plenty of, Carolinas and stuff like that. There's plenty of good places around, and Southwest is getting cheaper. So transportation's getting cheap. California going down, many places in the rest of the country heading up. So wouldn't that be a recipe for people leaving SoCal?
Yeah, I tell you, the time just before everything hit, I took the 101. I went off Gower, and my buddy had a juice shop. So I went to go support, and I pull off the Gower eggs off the 101. I see all these tents.
Right.
I'm like, what is going on here? So I go into the shop. I go, is there like a music festival here? They go, what are you talking about? I go, I see all these tents. And they started laughing at me. They go, that's the homeless. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
That's a big encampment right there.
Oh my God. Wash station, latrine. Like, come on in. Make yourself at home.
Yeah, to me, when they got into my old neighborhood in sort of Studio City, Valley Village, because the valley and that part of the valley was always impervious to the homeless. Homeless was like Skid Row and downtown, or maybe it spilled into Silver Lake. When I saw the other day the latrine and the wash station and everything off of Ventura Boulevard, off the Ventura Freeway on Laurel Canyon, I was like, we have jumped the fucking shark, man.
Yep, and that's why after the 5th month, my wife and I, we just said, let's get the hell out of here. And I had romanticized Nashville as one of those cities. I'm like, not too shabby. And the more I explored it, I talked to a good friend, Nate Bargatze, a great comic, and he gave me the lay of the land. I went out, I looked at it, and our home gone, and we're going out to Nashville, I think, sometime in December. So
yeah, you walk around Nashville, and it is, in many of these cities, not only are they fairly metropolitan, but because they're all sort of on the rise, things are newer. Like the downtown is newer, things are fresher, like things aren't old and sort of coming undone. So a lot of choices these days.
In all of our many travels, when we were traveling, God, it was, at least once or twice a month, at least when I started. And I'm from the Midwest, and I had no plans of ever going back.
Yeah.
But two places that still stick out to me from all of our Carolla live show plethora of tours is Royal Oak, Michigan, and Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Wow. Louisville's great.
Yeah.
Loved.
Yeah. And even places, I don't recommend Houston, let's be honest, but Indianapolis is really nice town to walk around too. All right, Gina, what do you got?
Well, we got some sad news to start with. Jeff Bridges tweeted something that is quite the bum out. He's been diagnosed with lymphoma. He said it on Monday. He said, as the dude would say, new shit has come to light. He added, I've been diagnosed with lymphoma. Although it's a serious disease, I feel fortunate to have a great team of doctors and the prognosis is good. I'm starting treatment and will keep you posted in my recovery. He then said, and he's 70, by the way, he thanked his friends and family for encouraging him, and not sure when he got the diagnosis, but he did just go public with that.
Wow.
I don't want a world. I want a world where he's in it. There's certain guys I need, certain people I don't need. We should be able to trade. You know what I mean? Like, I'll give you like 2 Kardashians
for one Bridges.
For one Bridges.
Throw in Bo.
Yeah, I'd like Bo. I'd like Bo to stay.
Yeah, but he's always on the table.
Right.
Yeah, because we gotta make the cap. So maybe dealing days.
That's a great line.
Dealing days.
Well, it's a funny concept until I get the fucking tap on the shoulder one day. What? You've been traded.
We got to save Rachel Maddow.
Kimmel's in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll give you the cast of Veep.
Right.
We get to keep,
Oh, we're keeping the cast of Veep.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been a couple of years since anyone's seen hide or hair of Bill Cosby, but TMZ has obtained his updated mugshot, and it is rough. He's 83. He was sentenced in 2018 to 3 to 10 years in Pennsylvania for sexually assaulting Andrea Constant, Pennsylvania prison, that is. And do you have the original mugshot, Kaylin? You really just go back and forth between 2 years. What a difference 2 years makes. One, at least, he looks like Bill Cosby. The newer one, he's very disheveled. And I mean, I don't know if he's still doing his Sunday service in the prison that he had been doing for so long, but that is the newest mugshot, and we can put that up so people can see it.
Wow, that's like the Black Nick Nolte.
Yeah, he's going down that road. His your nose never stops growing or getting wider, and there's that. And the hair's he's got a little Krusty the Clown going on a little, and not only Krusty the Clown, but the clown from In Living Color. A little bit. Homie. It's got a little homie.
Homie the clown.
Homie meets Krusty. Also, it's got to be weird to be like a new inmate and run across this version of Bill Cosby. Like where you go like, who's that guy? And someone goes, I don't know. And some other guy goes, that's Keyless Chuck. He's the janitor. No, that's Bill Cosby. You'd be like, get the
America's
fuck?
Dad?
I used to watch reruns of the Cosby Show when I was on the outside. Like, that is him.
God.
We should, what we need to do? We need to remember back in sitcoms, there was a trope in a sitcom where they would find the Japanese soldier who still thought World War II was going on and who was on an island. And evidently this existed, but I think they took it a little too far. We need to isolate. We need to pull people out of the population and end them. Like, you'll end at 1989, you'll end at 2002, and then we'll bring them out and we'll go, Bill Cosby? Yeah, this is Bill Cosby.
This is what happened, baby.
This is what happened, baby.
Surprise!
Yeah.
As long as I have my beloved Bruce Jenner, nothing can go wrong.
Yeah,
What do we tell you about Donald Trump?
Right.
Oh my God.
How does this new mugshot help anyone? Like, ma'am, is this the man who assaulted you? No.
Yeah, he's in prison. Do you have to update him every few, like you're at the DMV?
Right.
I guess it's weird.
Make sure you're still an organ donor. So, speaking of disgrace, writer and CNN senior analyst Jeffrey Toobin has been suspended by the New Yorker magazine and is on leave from CNN after he reportedly exposed himself on a corporate Zoom call. Who among us? Staff writers at the New Yorker and employees from WNYC were on a video call preparing for election night coverage. And the New York Times reports that during a pause in the call for a breakout session, those are when you kind of like go to different rooms to deal with, various people. Mr. Toobin switched to a second call that was the video call equivalent of like a phone sex call, according to two people who were familiar with it. And they spoke under anonymity. Asked Monday afternoon about reporters that he had exposed himself to, Mr. Toobin said, I made an embarrassingly stupid mistake believing I was off camera. I apologize to my wife, family, friends, coworkers, but he's decided to take a little time off. They're saying it was his decision.
See, I heard this story at first, and it was like he'd exposed himself, and I was like going, all right, so his pants were down on a Zoom call.
He just
came out of the shower or something.
Whatever,
like said, who among us?
sash in the bath. But I think he was beating off.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's what they're saying, that he was on basically a video phone sex call, and he thought he had taken the other call.
But you don't have to beat off immediately. There's a sort of cooling down period.
I got to know you.
Yeah. What's your favorite pizza topping? So was he beating off on this? Okay, well, we should say beating off because he was beating.
He was
is it unclear or was he beating off?
Well, he inappropriately exposed himself.
No, you can't keep saying that because everyone's inappropriately exposed.
I think anytime the laptop comes up, a guy is 3 pages away from ending up jerking off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially you get me on Bring a Trailer on a Sunday morning.
Clear out.
69 Camaro, Z28, low mileage.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, I'm going to get going now.
This headline on Fox says
they're gonna tell,
Jeffrey will probably return to CNN after masturbation scandal dies down.
Yeah. The problem with expose yourself is that could be any one of us at any time with the bathrobe coming open.
Right.
The beating off is a little bit of a different animal. I still respect the man. I'm just trying to. There's a difference between exposure and beating off. Exposure is showing somebody a knife, and beating off is stabbing them.
Right. Yeah.
I need to. It's nuanced, but in the eyes of the law, it makes a difference to Judge Adam.
Right.
Did you brandish, or
did you penetrate,
or did you shiv? Right.
Yeah. The more you read about, he was definitely jerking though.
Yeah.
That what appears to be it, because if it's anyway, if it was, I don't know, Max Baz.
I mean, that's what I'm hearing too. But now, keep in mind, he is a CNN reporter, so they could be protecting him by just saying exposing. But everywhere else that I've read, it's reportedly his screen went down a little bit. So his camera, he flipped his camera, went down, and it showed the goods, and they saw him working
the goods. Yeah, because if it just goes down, it's like I made a mistake, or we all done a Zoom in our fucking underpants or whatever. I think it's the beating off part that caused this.
Rub people the wrong way.
Yeah.
Hello. CNN told him to beat it. They yanked him off the air. You can keep doing it. Yeah, I mean, just.
Well, we do have more answers for the next presidential debate, which is, hours away at this point.
Well, hold on. Was Toobin doing a Zoom call, like a business call?
Yes, but from the story, he took another Zoom.
Right, but what was his original? What was his original?
It was
call?
election night coverage,
they were
a discussion for the work staff.
Jesus. This first off,
he's really gonna be excited when Trump loses.
I don't know. This guy's a multitasker. Like my thing. I'm so uncoordinated. I can't beat off and chew gum at the same time. I can't beat off and shoot gum at the same. I mean,
there's only 24 hours in a day, right, guys? What's up, Your Honor? Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right.
So,
it was an election simulator. That's right. All right. Sorry.
So speaking of election simulators, the thing that we were all prepared for and probably shouting at our television screens during the first debate is what's going to happen, apparently, at this next debate. We likely won't see a lot of interruptions, or at least we won't hear them super well, because on Monday, the sponsors of the second and final debate between Trump and Biden said that their mics will be muted when their time is up. So, you'll hear some shouting at a distance, but you won't hear it very clearly, I imagine. The commission said that while one of the candidates is given their 2 minutes to answer each question, the other mic will be muted. The final debate will be moderated by Kristen Welker of NBC. It's scheduled for Thursday at 9 Eastern in Nashville.
She's a nasty woman. I don't like her. She's nasty.
Oh, no. Oh, she's not an impartial third party.
I don't like her. Nasty woman.
Oh, geez.
This mic thing is probably going to help Trump, so he probably shouldn't protest.
I watched the last debate. I muted it, and I still heard Trump. I don't know how that's possible,
really.
But it happened. Yeah.
And I had it muted, and I got spittle on me from Trump. So
You better get checked, buddy.
we're going 4K, man. But the only thing I could tell from the whole thing, and I know everyone thinks I'm a fucking dick all the time, but I was looking at the topics, and it's like, number one, COVID. And I was like, okay, it's been talked about quite a bit, but fine. Number two, race in America. It's like, could we give it a fucking break?
Yeah.
Could we just give it a fucking break? It's people don't like racism. We live in a non-racist country. The reason everyone from around the world tries to get here is because of that. Could we just fucking give it a break? I get it. Biden's he doesn't like racism. Trump is going to have trouble saying it. He doesn't like racism. Move the fuck on. Then they're both going to tell some sort of story about what they did for a black person, or about how we have to, reimagine policing, or whatever the fuck it is. Can we stop talking about race so much? It's fucking insane. 2021 is 2 months away. It doesn't need to be the second thing they talk about on the debate. It's all we talk about. It's understood, and there's nothing they can say about it on that debate stage that's going to clear anything up or fix anything that has to do with race. Can we pick a fucking subject, economy or something, schooling, whatever, something, foreign affairs, something that's got a little more fucking meat on the bone instead of this esoteric race fucking thing that we all make ourselves heroes every 5 minutes. We're going to have dialogue. You need a seat at the table, and then you pull up the seat at the table. Now we have an honest dialogue about fucking race. Jesus Christ. You can keep fucking talking about it. You'll never fucking fix it by talking about it. And no candidate explaining what he's going to do about it ever fucking touches it because you can't get to it from where they are.
I am so incensed. After this show, I'm pushing over 3 statues. I'm just letting everybody out there know.
And burning a ballot box.
Yeah. Ooh. I agree with
Speaking
you
of that,
100%.
Did you
Crazy.
they should ask about what do you think of 50 Cent? Do you see that he tweeted something like, I'm Trump all the way now. I don't care if he likes black people or not. Joe Biden's new tax policy that's going to put like a 62% tax on anyone that makes more than $400,000. I'm Trump all the way. So maybe talk about 50 Cent.
You want to talk about civil liberties. Them taking in California, I think it was 63% of your income. We're fucking sailed right past 50%. And we're now past 60%. We get 37%. We get to take home 37% of what we make if you make more than $400K. That is civil liberty crushing. That's the fucking government taking more than half your money. Like, we never stop talking about, abortions and the right to this, and that guy burned a flag, and what about free speech zones and all. How about them taking 60-something% of the money you earn? That doesn't seem like a civil liberty impingement.
I know a good realtor.
Jesus Christ. And New Jersey, New York. I mean, they're all
and by the way, don't
60 plus.
It's not just that. They're going to rake the citizens over the coals of California the next 5-10 years to make up for all that lost revenue that they've been missing out on these last 7 months.
Oh, no, they're not. They're just going to follow the people who leave for 10 years, right?
Right.
That's true, too, yeah.
They're going to fucking tag them like a caribou. Newsom's going to be up in the tree with binoculars and a fucking walkie-talkie. A decade at. Look, anyone who lives in one of those cities, anybody who lives in one of those cities and makes more than $400K a year is going to move. Mm-hmm. That's how it works. Okay. I don't know. This doesn't, when we're talking about like government overreach, or we're talking about big government, or we're talking about the citizens, doesn't taking more than 60% of the money you earn, that doesn't feel like the ultimate overreach? God damn. It's like we just fucking sit around and talk about abortion. We talk about religious freedom and all that stuff. Great. How about my cut is in the 30s? My cut is in the 30s now. That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Is there something attractive about that, or you just get to go fuck all those rich people? And by the way, you live in California, you live in LA, and you make $407,000 a year. You ain't rich. That's for goddamn sure.
But you're privileged.
You're privileged.
This is
right.
why.
That's right.
It's a privilege tax. That's what's happening.
All right.
Well, let's move on to something a little lighter. Now that Borat
thoughts. Do you guys have thoughts about this?
Do we have thoughts?
Yeah.
I think it's insane.
It is insane. Is it a progressive tax where like you make a certain amount and that amount gets taxed at 62%? I'm assuming it is, but I don't know. I didn't know the story.
Certain amount is over 400K, I think.
62%, 63%. And that's the thing, because for those of us who don't make $400,000, what is the incentive for me to I have 2 jobs now as it is. What's the incentive for me to find a third job if I know the more I make, the more is going to be taken away from me?
Yeah, the sweet spot's like just underneath that. You want to like cap it like right there, though, if you can.
Right. So it's insane. It's fucking insane. It's $400,000. So, well, you're certainly going to move if you get to over 400. All right.
Right. There's no reason to stay. Now that Borat has a new movie out, he's starting to do some press. He was last seen on Jimmy Kimmel Live Monday night promoting Borat's subsequent movie film, Delivery of Prodigious Bribe to American Regime for Make Benefit Once Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan. And the first thing he did when he came out was let Jimmy Kimmel know that there is a new virus called the coronavirus. It's out of Wuhan, Israel, started by the Jews. And he then went into a questionnaire with Jimmy to make sure he wasn't infected. Here's a clip.
Health questionnaire. normal Kazakh plague questionnaire. In the last week, have you been in the presence for more than 15 minutes of any Jews?
Yes, all of our writers and none of our camera guys are Jews. Yeah.
That's funny.
Is that bad?
This is very bad.
Oh.
That is one.
Oh.
And your diet, as a member of Hollywood elite,
Yeah.
have you recently drunk any unpasteurized children's blood?
Unpasteurized? No, I have not.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Not in any pizza parlors recently?
No, I have the
Very
pizza
surprising.
delivered to the house, yeah.
And for the contact tracing, I need the names and addresses of the last 12 prostitutes you have been with.
I'm going to have to get back to you with that.
Why, there are more?
Yeah.
And were any of them women? No. Yes, I did not think so. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
And what is your favorite position to make sexy time?
What does that have to do with the virus?
Nothing. I just want to know. I'm a fan.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I want to imagine you. It's not fun. Swing, yeah. Yes, this is catchphrase.
The answer is laying on my back like a seal. Yeah.
You made it with a seal.
No, I
Naughty, naughty.
It's funny
So
shit.
then he tried to penetrate him with a thermometer and a 10-foot pole, and it got crazier from there. But great promotional junket by Borat. I think the movie's going to be a success.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. When is it out? Is it?
It's going to be on
this
Amazon
Friday.
Prime on Friday, right?
Oh, Amazon Prime. All right, let me
think so.
hit Butcher Box here. Hard to find, 100% grass-fed finished beef. Yeah, free-range, organic chicken, heritage breed pork, or wild-caught salmon in the grocery store. Today's sponsor, Butcher Box, thinks you should make one less trip to the store and for better, more affordable selection. We use Butcher Box on a nightly basis. Olga cooks up something great each and every night. The stuff is top shelf. It's better than you'd think it would be. It is better than it needs to be. They want to keep you for a customer for life. Each box has between 9 and 11 pounds of meat, enough for 24 individual meals, around just $6 a meal, packed fresh, shipped frozen, vacuum sealed, free shipping nationwide except for Alaska and Hawaii. And right now, members get 2 lobster tails and 2 filet mignons, the surf and turf deal. And all you got to do is go to Butcher Box. I'll tell you how to do it. That's 2 lobster tails, 2 filet mignons, free in your first box. Just go to butcherbox.com/Adam and get the surf and turf. All right, one more, Gina Grad.
All right. Well, we were talking about anchovies earlier and, picky people, picky kids. We've even done segments on this show. You've done it on your old radio show. Will Angie eat it? Will Andrew eat it? Well, this is refreshing. This is the kid we should all strive to be. This little 4-year-old went viral on social media recently when he might be literally the least picky eater of all time. His mom did several taste test challenges with him and edited them all together. His thumbs up are for foods he likes, thumbs down for foods he doesn't like. But he liked everything. He liked pickled beets. He liked kippered herring. The only food he didn't seem to like was horseradish, balsamic vinegar, and wasabi. Here are some of the other things he said yes to. Let's all be this kid.
It's Mike August, illegitimate kid.
That's right.
Well, he is black.
Taste test challenge. All right, first we have pickled beets. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up. Spicy pickle. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up. Seaweed. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Black coffee. It's thumbs up.
And it goes, it's like 5 minutes long. There's nothing this kid won't eat except basically wasabi.
Yeah, I feel like there's enough on TV I can watch. I don't know. I don't know if this kid's going to.
Those Love Boat episodes are going to wash themselves.
It's not that they're going to, that they need to give him
That had an element of when the squirrel is snowboarding, except for you just see the squirrel duct taped to the snowboard and they push it down the hill.
Have you ever given a toddler a spicy pickle and seen what happens to them?
Many times.
They are very upset.
Oh, you didn't let me finish my thought.
Wait, when you say give him the spicy pickle,
Quite frequently. Several times earlier today. No.
I thought about this kid in the last few days and thought, if he can try that, I can definitely try whatever I'm about to.
I think that kid figured out that it was cool to give the thumbs up after whatever it is they tried.
But there was no
positive
wincing.
reaffirmation, dopamine effect.
It could have that could have been cooked or coached, is what I'm saying. I hate to
motherfuckers.
hate to be that guy, but I believe that we, the U.S. government, took down the Twin Towers, and I believe that kid was coached.
I miss the good old days of watching a fat girl fall off a motorcycle.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah,
that's what I want to watch.
Yeah, I miss that. I miss that. Where's Saget?
Since you guys are so anti, your thumbs down the little kid, I'm going to just do this for Brian because I don't care anymore. And I've been sitting on it because I hate it. But Brian, let's make you happy. How about that? The first 90s song has logged 1 billion streams on Spotify.
Yes.
And it's stupid.
It's only
Wonderwall.
It should only go to the greatest song ever made.
1995 song. It has now surpassed Queen, which
I got to see Oasis tribute band in the Burbank Costco parking lot called. Yes.
Noasis?
No, they're called Mirage.
Yeah. They're called
a Mirage.
There
It's
you
a
go.
desert thing.
yeah, they're doing it at the Costco Oasis.
Yeah, so we're all pretty heavily into
Yeah.
Oasis.
All right.
So we're
Well,
fighting
you
pretty
guys
hard
fuck
for that
yourselves.
team.
Have a good day.
All right. So wait a minute. That is the most streamed song in the world.
Now it's rivaling Bohemian Rhapsody that had already passed 1 billion. Now Wonderwall has passed 1 billion.
Jesus, good
It was
God.
the first 90s song to pass a billion.
Oh, the first 90. All right. The opening act available now on digital and video on demand as well. A very good movie and a very good guy, Steve Byrne, everyone. And you can go to SteveByrneLive.com. And it's available as we speak. Yes, Steve?
As we speak,
No,
yeah.
no.
Thank you guys so much for
This is
progression.
Maya, the mighty.
It's a nice segue.
We're looking at Cosby, and we're looking at Homie the Clown, and we're looking at Krusty the Clown, and they're all about the same lane. All right, I'm doing a live stand-up West Palm Beach, Florida, Improv, November 20th and 21st. We're doing live podcasts in the early show and in the late show, doing stand-up, and I'm also doing a matinee show on Saturday, Reasonable Doubt with Mark Garagos over there. I'm your emotional sport animals, available as we speak. That's my new book, and until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Gina and Bald and Steve Byrne saying, mahalo.